If you found yourself chained to a pipe somewhere inside of a basement, having to play some sick twisted game in order to survive, what would you do? Even though the subject has been discussed in the past by fellow creators, I will try and come up with solutions based on my own analysis. We will follow the characters, see what mistakes could have been avoided in order for us to beat Jigsaw from the original Saw movie. The movie begins with Adam, who appears to be submerged in water. Only a couple seconds pass and we can already see the chances of survival going down the drain, literally, as the key to Adam's chain is flushed down the drain as soon as he awakens. Now, I believe there was nothing he could have done to save the key, as anyone would be in a state of shock given the circumstances. Lawrence on the other side of the room appears to be calm. We find out he is a doctor, which should give away the fact that the wounded person between the two is not actually dead, but it's too early for spoilers. I know this doctor is sharp, but he's not Dr. House. There is no way he could figure out the clock is new, so it must play a huge role in their survival. In fact, it's pretty logical that we've been abducted, so the one who did is prepare the room beforehand. After searching his pockets, Adam finds a key that does not work on any of the chains and the tape. They should be played with the tape recorder that's found in the hands of the dead body in the middle of the room. Now when trying to reach the tape recorder, Lawrence suggests grabbing it by using his shirt, and of course it doesn't reach. Adam magically finds a metal string that he uses to increase his reach getting the recorder, which in reality would be close to impossible. First of all, I would have tied my t-shirt to the shirt I've already used, considering how unlikely it would be to find that string piece in the bathtub, and moreover, how unlikely it would be to actually manage to grab the recorder with that string. On Lawrence's tape, a creepy voice tells him that in order to survive, he must kill Adam using the gun on the floor, but Lawrence is so alert in this situation that he hears a whisper telling him to listen to his heart, and of course immediately associates this information with the heart drawn on the toilet. After Adam washes his hands in shit, he finds two saws and some pictures that are going to be revealed later. The saws we are talking about can't seem to cut bread, let alone chains, so Lawrence has another brilliant idea: they have to cut through their feet in order to survive. The next scene is actually a flashback to one of the first victims of Jigsaw, a 46-year-old male that according to the authorities cut his wrist for attention, and he received way more attention than he originally wanted. He even made it to the news. His game was a simple one. If he really wanted to die, he could have waited, no pain inflicted on him, just waited until he dies of thirst or starvation, but considering his weight, I'm more inclined to the first option. On the other hand, if he wanted to live, he had to walk through a razor wire maze. I feel as if we have to talk about this. I'm not trying to copy other creators, but that's razor wire, not barbed wire. The main difference between these two is that the barbed wire is used for fences in case of domestic animals, and the razor wire is used by prisons to prevent escapees from running away. Barbed wire only causes scratches on the skin, razor cuts just like a knife. We could try and use our underwear as hand protection while trying to grab the wire, as Hitstar said in his video, but I really doubt it will work. It's actually great to have no clothes on, as those would just be in the way. Instead of trying to push the wire through the maze, I would pick it with my fingers wrapped in the underwear, similar to how you grab a knife while washing its blade, and pull the razor wire towards me, as we could use more back pressure instead of pushing it in an uncomfortable position. Then again, the victim was found after 3 weeks. There is no way in hell we'd survive that long anyway, so we might as well take the shot. It's said that Jigsaw only creates traps that can be defeated, but I don't see any way out for this one. Another victim that lied to people in order to get some time off work and pretended to be sick was poisoned, with the antidote being locked in a safe. The combination for unlocking the safe is written somewhere on the wall. Problem is the wall is full of such combinations. He also has an inflammable substance smeared all over his body and can only use a lit candle as light source. Did I mention the floor is filled with broken glass and he is barefooted? If the safe code was a 3-digit combination with numbers from 0 to 9, we could basically insert every single possible combination, considering there are only 1000. If we have a 4-digit combination, we are fucked. Depending on how long the process of dying due to the poison takes, we could technically insert the combinations if we move fast enough. Supposing it takes us 3 seconds per iteration and we don't forget along the way what we've already inserted, it's going to take us at least 50 minutes to complete all the combinations, which is not terrible. We discovered that 5 months prior to his abduction, Lawrence was questioned by the police as he was a suspect, and met Amanda, the only survivor of Jigsaw's games. Apparently, her game was wearing what could have been the coolest motorcycle headgear ever, which in fact proves to be a reversed bear trap. The key for unlocking the trap can be found in her boyfriend's stomach. who is sadly not dead yet but rather in a paralyzed state. In order to survive, this is the smallest price we could pay as no pain is inflicted on ourselves. I know the guy is still alive, but we only have 60 seconds at our disposal in order to cut his guts, take out the key and unlock the trap, which he manages to do successfully. Okay, Jigsaw does not consider himself a criminal, because he only placed those people in complicated life-threatening games, but he didn't personally kill anybody, and seeing an antagonist riding a tricycle considerably decreases the fear factor here. We find out Jigsaw only chooses people that do not appreciate their lives, so they must make up for their mistakes. I don't really think that skipping work makes you worthy of being burnt alive, but Jigsaw might think otherwise. Adam starts looking at Lawrence suspicious after all this information is revealed, and finds that the bathroom mirror is two-sided, so someone is watching them through a camera as they speak. We see that Lawrence was not a great father or a family guy. Even though he had work to do, he still checked for monsters under her daughter's bed after she had a nightmare. Looking for other clues in the bathroom, they are told to find an X. They shut the lights off and find it. After an emotionally filled segment with Lawrence's daughter, we get to see a picture of her and Lawrence's wife tied in their bedroom. Remember the nightmare she talked about? Yep, it seems the boogeyman was a real man hidden in her closet all along. Meanwhile, the police manages to identify a graffiti on a street from one of Jigsaw's short videotapes, thus finding his hideout, and not only that, but they also find an old man that's already part of the new game. They hide instead of taking down the criminal immediately, which is what I believe they should have done, but as soon as the criminal is threatened, he activates the old man's game, which will soon end with his head being drilled. They have to make a choice. They either let the man be drilled and capture the criminal, or they save the man but lose the criminal. Steven Singh manages to shoot the trap and make it dysfunctional, while Tab seems to be dysfunctional himself, as he can't even hold the criminal at gunpoint without getting his throat slit open. Steven runs to catch Jigsaw, manages to shoot him, and the Oscar goes to Jigsaw, who is alive and well yet pretends to fall in order for Steven to walk right into another trap. If I was the policeman, I would certainly shoot him multiple times and return to my friend whose neck was cut. Making sure everybody else is okay should have been a priority, and considering Tap was the more analytical brain here, he would probably realize that the hallway to the criminal's body is filled with traps, so everyone else would have survived. Behind the tile with the X drawn with a fluorescent marker, they find a box that has to be opened with a key found earlier. The box contains a phone that can only receive calls, a cigarette, and a lighter. I personally wouldn't trust the lighter as the room is full of pipes that might be filled with gas. Next to the cigarette, we also find a note that instructs Lawrence to poison the cigarette by using the blood from the floor and pass it to Adam, thus killing him. Lawrence does a great thing by switching the lights off again, replacing the poisoned cigarette with a good one and telling Adam to act as if he's dying. But Adam is just way too retarded to make it look credible, so the criminal behind the camera is electrocuting him through the chain, proving he's still alive, and their plan fails. After the phone rings for the first time, we find out Adam actually knows Lawrence and was paid by Tap, the policeman, to take pictures of him secretly, even when Lawrence was cheating on his wife with another woman at a hotel room. Now the morality war begins. Whose actions are more justified, Lawrence, who is cheating, or Adam, who is a stalker? Back at the house where the two girls are being held hostages, the mother manages to free herself, attack the killer, get his weapon, and yet she doesn't shoot him, but rather waits to have an emotional conversation with Lawrence through the phone. The decision is idiotic as the daughter's life could have been in danger. But before the criminal can do anything, Tab, the policeman, jumps in between them, helping the family. All that Lawrence can hear now, through the phone, are screams and gunshots, ultimately believing his family was murdered as he didn't manage to solve the task in time. Now the moment everyone was waiting for. The phone that was thrown earlier starts ringing again, but is so far out of reach that Lawrence decides to strip his shirt in order to create a man-made tourniquet and finally cuts his foot off. I can't comprehend his decision. Why? Because Lawrence is the one that comes up with the idea of using the shirt to grab objects from the floor at the beginning of the movie, yet doesn't even try to do the same in this situation. Not only his shirt, but as many other creators suggested, he could have used the chainsaw to grab the phone. Why was grabbing the phone crucial? Because that call was sent by his wife, who wanted to let him know they're okay, so there is no reason to rush. Once he decided to cut his foot, he severs the whole thing instead of just maybe the ankle that could allow him to escape with less damage, and as doctors say, there is no way you can cut the whole foot without cutting through a major artery. Now he is not only prone to bleeding out in about an hour, but he is also prone to infection, and he also shoots Adam in the shoulder to finish his task without mortally wounding him. In Zeb's pocket, the man that abducted Lawrence's family, another tape recorder was found, which proves that even him was part of a game. So who could be the real Jigsaw behind it all? Exactly, the man lying on the bathroom floor since the beginning of the movie. Lawrence left crawling and Adam remained chained to the pipes while John Kramer, one of Lawrence's patients, paralyzed himself with poison for a couple of hours and simulated a suicide, with fake blood all over him. He has cancer and tries to somehow make people pay for the wrongs they're doing. He has hero traits, but let's just say those adjectives suitable for a hero do not apply to John, not one bit. In the end, Adam is left there to die, while the doctor survives, or at least this is what we are led to believe. The whole situation could have been avoided easier. Firstly, Zeb had the mission of killing Lawrence's family if either Lawrence or Adam failed their own games, while being poisoned with a substance that damages the organism over time. So he could have just left, as no one was monitoring Zeb himself. He didn't need to abduct Lawrence's family. He could have went straight to the doctor for an antidote, considering he also had relationships created in the hospital as an ex-employee. Adam could not save the key from the very beginning, and basically is fucked in this specific case. Why? Because he has to survive regardless, that's the mission, so the maximum that he could have done was cutting off the ankle and freeing himself. If I was Lawrence and nothing seemed to work until my time was up, I would probably kill Adam. I know that might not be the best option, but this is the safest route to take in order to save your family and to win the game. Seeing how the events unfolded, patience would have paid off in Lawrence's case anyway. If he grabbed the phone with his shirt, found out his family was okay and grabbed the weapon, he could have just waited there until the real Jigsaw revealed himself and directly killed him, and the movie ends. But what would you do if you found yourself chained into a creepy looking bathroom? Would you survive the game? Leave your opinion down below in the comment section and tell me what movie should we analyze next. Luckily, this is beyond reality.